What is Indian Constitution? Simple explanation. 1. The Indian Constitution is the supreme law of India. 2. It explains how our country is governed and how the government works. 3. It was created to protect our rights, maintain justice, liberty, and equality. 4. The Constitution was drafted by the Constituent Assembly, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is known as its chief architect. 5. Because of the Constitution, every citizen is equal before the law. Know your rights. Know your Constitution. Follow and subscribe for daily Constitution knowledge.
Understanding the organization of the Indian Constitution. The Indian Constitution is divided into parts, each covering different governance aspects. It starts with the preamble, stating the objectives of justice, liberty, and equality. There are 12 schedules detailing administrative divisions, laws, and government processes. Fundamental rights and duties ensure citizens' freedoms and responsibilities. Directive principles guide the state in making policies for social welfare and development. The Constitution originally had 395 articles, and today it has around 448 articles due to amendments. Stay informed about your Constitution by following our channel.
Article 1. India, that is Bharat, Union of States explained India. Article 1 of the Indian Constitution explains the name and territory of India. It declares that our country is called India, that is Bharat, and describes India as a union of states. This article also explains that India consists of states and union territories and is one united nation. This video explains Article 1 in simple words for beginners, students, and citizens.
Article 2. Admission of new states into India, explains simply India. Article 2 of the Indian Constitution gives Parliament the power to admit new states into the Union of India or establish new states. This article explains how new territories can become part of India and how Parliament decides the terms and conditions for their admission. This video explains Article 2 in simple words for students, beginners, and citizens. Ensures that the Council of Ministers is collectively responsible to the Lok Sabha. All government actions are consistent with the Constitution and law.
Article 3. Formation and reorganization of states, explains simply India. Parliament has the power to reorganize states. New states can be formed from existing
Article 4.
states.
Laws related to state reorganization, explains simply India.
Article 5. Citizenship at the commencement of the Constitution India. Article 5 deals with citizenship when the Constitution came into force, the 26th of January 1950. A person must have domicile in India to be considered a citizen. A person was a citizen if born in India, or either parent was born in India, or lived in India for at least 5 years before 1950. Article 5 applied mainly at the beginning of the Constitution.
Article 6. Citizenship rights of migrants from Pakistan, India. Article 6 deals with people who migrated to India from Pakistan during partition. People who migrated before this date were considered citizens if they had domicile in India. Those who migrated after this date had to register as citizens. Citizenship was granted only if the person intended to permanently live in India.
Article 7. Citizenship of migrants to Pakistan, India. 1. Article 7 defines the criteria for granting citizenship to migrants in Pakistan clearly and legally. 2. It ensures migrants who meet specific conditions can obtain citizenship rights and protections. 3. The article impacts migrants' access to education, healthcare, and employment opportunities nationwide. 4. It plays a crucial role in integrating migrants into Pakistani society and promoting social cohesion. 5. Article 7 also outlines the legal process for citizenship applications, ensuring transparency and fairness.
Article 8. Citizenship of Indians living abroad, India. Article 8 applies to people of Indian origin living outside India. It deals with citizenship at the time the Constitution came into force. Such persons had to be registered by Indian diplomatic or consular officials. This article ensured that Indians abroad could retain a legal connection with India.
Article 9. Loss of Indian citizenship explained, India. Article 9 applies when a person voluntarily acquires foreign citizenship. Such a person is not considered an Indian citizen. India does not allow dual citizenship. This rule applied at the start of the Constitution.
Article 10. Continuance of Indian citizenship, India. Article 10 ensures that citizenship continues once granted. It applies to citizens defined under Articles 5 to 9. Citizenship continues as long as it follows laws made by Parliament. This article provides stability and clarity in citizenship matters. Article 11. Parliament's power over citizenship. Step 1. Article 11 empowers Parliament to regulate citizenship laws in India through legislation. Step 2. Parliament can define who is a citizen, grant citizenship, or revoke it under this article. Step 3. These laws affect individuals' rights and status as citizens, impacting their legal protections. Step 4. Parliament exercises this power by passing citizenship acts and amendments as needed. Step 5. This authority ensures a clear, unified approach to citizenship in India's diverse society. Step 6. Basis for Citizenship Act. This article is the foundation for the Citizenship Act, 1955. Subscribe for more clear explanations on important legal topics.
Article 12, Meaning of State in Fundamental Rights, India. State means government bodies that enforce fundamental rights for every citizen. It includes government departments that run public services like education and health. Local authorities like municipalities manage public sector services and are part of the government-owned companies serving public interests. Learn more about your rights by following our channel.
Article 13. Protecting your fundamental rights in India. Article 13 declares any law violating fundamental rights as invalid and unenforceable. It safeguards citizens by ensuring unconstitutional laws have no legal effect. For example, A law restricting freedom of speech can be struck down under Article 13. This article is crucial for upholding democracy and protecting individual freedoms. Remember, Article 13 ensures your fundamental rights are always protected. Article 14. Right to equality explained India. Equality before law. No one is above the law in India. Equal protection of laws. The law protects everyone equally. Applies to all persons. Citizens and non-citizens are covered. No arbitrary discrimination. The state cannot act unfairly or unreasonably. Remember, Article 14 ensures your fundamental rights are always protected.
Article 15. Prohibition of discrimination in India. Article 15 of the Indian Constitution prohibits discrimination on various grounds. Discrimination is banned based on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth. For example, no one can be denied public services due to their caste or religion. This article ensures equal treatment and protects citizens from unfair exclusion. Learn more about your rights under the Indian Constitution today.
Article 16. Equality in public employment explained simply. Article 16 ensures equal opportunity for all citizens in public employment without discrimination. It prohibits discrimination based on religion, race, caste, sex, or place of birth in government jobs. For example, all eligible candidates get a fair chance in job recruitment and promotions. This article promotes fairness and inclusivity, making public employment accessible to everyone. Share your thoughts on equality in public employment in the comments below. Article 17. Abolition of untouchability in India. Article 17 abolishes untouchability, making its practice illegal and punishable by law. This article promotes equality by ensuring no one faces discrimination based on birth or caste. Untouchability's abolition helps build a society where dignity and respect are universal rights. It impacts daily life by encouraging inclusion in schools, workplaces, and public spaces. Upholding this article strengthens human rights and fosters social harmony across communities. Support equality and dignity for all by understanding Article 17's vital role.
Article 18. Abolition of titles in the Indian Constitution. Article 18 abolishes titles to promote equality and prevent social distinctions in India. It prohibits the state from granting any titles except military and academic honors. This article stops citizens from accepting foreign titles without government permission. By abolishing titles, Article 18 supports a society free from inherited privileges and discrimination.
Article 19 explained, Freedom Rights in India. Freedom of speech lets you express your thoughts openly without fear or restriction. Freedom to assemble means you can gather peacefully for protests or meetings. Freedom to form associations allows you to join or create groups for common interests. Freedom to move freely means you can travel anywhere within India without restrictions. Freedom to reside and settle anywhere in India gives you the right to live where you choose. Remember these rights and share to empower others with knowledge.
Article 20. Protection in criminal cases India. No ex post facto law. A person cannot be punished for an act that was not a crime when committed. No double jeopardy. No person can be punished twice for the same offense. No self-incrimination. No person can be forced to testify against themselves. Learn more about your rights under the Indian Constitution today.
Article 21. Right to life and personal liberty, India. Article 21 guarantees that every person has the right to live with human dignity, not just mere survival. No person can be deprived of their personal freedom except according to a procedure established by law. This right is available to citizens as well as non-citizens, making it universal in nature. Any law affecting life or liberty must be fair, just, and reasonable, not arbitrary. The Supreme Court has included rights such as right to privacy, education, health, shelter, and clean environment under Article 21. Article 21 is the heart of fundamental rights. It protects human dignity and freedom. Article 22. Protection against arrest and detention, India. Right to know grounds of arrest. Arrested person must be informed of the reason. Right to a lawyer. Right to consult and be defended by a legal practitioner. Produced before magistrate. Must be produced within 24 hours of arrest. No illegal detention. Detention beyond 24 hours requires magistrate approval. Preventive detention exception. Special laws allow preventive detention under conditions. Know your rights before the law, India. Follow and subscribe to learn every article easily.
Article 23. Prohibition of human trafficking, India. Human trafficking prohibited. Buying and selling of humans is banned. Beggar banned. Forced labor without payment is illegal. Applies to all persons. Protection is for everyone, not just citizens. Punishable offense. Violations are punishable by law. State can impose compulsory service. Allowed only for public purposes without discrimination. Freedom and dignity are fundamental rights, India.
Article 24. Prohibition of child labor, India. Child labor banned. Children below 14 years cannot work in hazardous jobs. Protection of children. Ensures safety, health, and education of children. Hazardous employment prohibited. Factories, mines, and dangerous work are banned. Applies to all children. Protection is for every child, without discrimination. Punishable by law. Violating Article 24 is a legal offense. Children belong in schools, not workplaces, India.
Article 25. Freedom of religion. Every individual has the right to freedom of conscience, meaning they can follow their own beliefs and moral principles. Everyone is free to profess, practice, and propagate their religion without interference. Article 25 guarantees this freedom to all citizens of India, ensuring equal religious rights. The right is not absolute, it is subject to laws ensuring public safety, morality, and health. The state can regulate religious practices to maintain social welfare, reform harmful practices, and prevent exploitation. Article 25 empowers every citizen to follow their faith freely while respecting the law and public welfare.
Article 26. Freedom to manage religious affairs. Every religious denomination has the right to establish and maintain institutions for religious purposes. They can manage their places of worship, conduct rituals, and appoint leaders according to their beliefs. Religious groups can own and acquire property for the benefit of their religion. The state can regulate these rights in the interest of public welfare, but cannot interfere unnecessarily. Ensures equality by allowing all recognized religions to manage their affairs without discrimination. Article 26 strengthens India's secular framework by letting every religion flourish while respecting public welfare and harmony. Article 27. No compulsory tax for religion. No person shall be forced to pay taxes specifically for the promotion or maintenance of any religion. Citizens cannot be compelled to support a religion they do not follow. Public funds collected by the state must be used for general welfare, not for religious purposes. The right is universal, applies equally to all religious communities. This article reinforces India's secular nature, separating religion from state finances. Article 27 safeguards freedom of religion by ensuring that no one's money is used to support a religion against their will. True secularism begins here.
Article 28. Freedom from compulsory religious instruction. Students in state-funded schools cannot be forced to attend religious instruction or worship. Religious instruction may be provided in educational institutions managed by minorities based on religion, but attendance is optional. Students have the right to opt out of religious activities without any penalty. The rule applies to government and aided schools, ensuring neutrality in education. Article 28 reinforces India's secular principles in education by separating religion from the school curriculum. Article 28 guarantees that education in India remains neutral, inclusive, and free from compulsory religious influence. Every student has the right to learn without pressure.
Article 29, Rights of Minorities. Minorities have the right to conserve their language, script, and culture. They can set up and administer educational institutions of their choice. Rights apply to all citizens belonging to minority groups, regardless of religion or language. Minorities cannot be discriminated against in admissions to educational institutions managed by them. Supports India's cultural and linguistic diversity by empowering minority communities. Article 29 guarantees that minority communities can preserve their heritage, culture, and education while contributing to India's diversity.
Article 30. Rights of minorities to establish institutions India. Religious and linguistic minorities have the right to establish educational institutions of their choice. Minorities can manage and administer these institutions without unnecessary interference. The state cannot discriminate against minority institutions while granting aid or recognition. Government can regulate for education standards, but cannot destroy minority character. This article helps minorities preserve their language, culture, and identity through education. Article 30 protects minority education, ensuring freedom, equality, and preservation of cultural identity in India's democracy.
Article 31. Right to property, repealed. Article 31 originally guaranteed the right to property as a fundamental right. The government could not take private property without following legal procedure. If property was acquired, the owner had the right to compensation. Article 31 was removed from fundamental rights and shifted to Article 300A. Right to property still exists, but only as a constitutional, legal right, not fundamental. Article 31 shows how the Constitution evolves, balancing individual rights with social justice and national development. Article 32. Right to constitutional remedies. Citizens can directly approach the Supreme Court to protect their fundamental rights. Article 32 ensures that fundamental rights are not just written rights, but enforceable. The Supreme Court can issue writs like habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto. This right itself is a fundamental right, making it extremely powerful. Article 32 makes the Supreme Court the protector and guardian of fundamental rights. Article 32 turns fundamental rights into real power by giving citizens direct access to the Supreme Court for justice.
Article 33, Fundamental Rights and Armed Forces. Article 33 gives Parliament the power to restrict or modify fundamental rights of armed forces. Covers Army, Navy, Air Force, Police, and Intelligence Services. Restrictions are allowed to maintain discipline, duty, and national security. Fundamental rights are limited, not abolished, for security reasons. Only Parliament, not state governments, can decide these restrictions. Article 33 balances individual rights with national security, honoring the discipline of those who protect.
Article 34, Fundamental Rights during martial law. Article 34 comes into effect only when martial law is imposed. Parliament can indemnify actions taken by authorities during martial law. Government officials are protected from legal action for acts done in good faith. Some fundamental rights may be restricted, but not permanently removed. Applies only to the area under martial law, not the entire country. Article 34 ensures order during extreme situations while maintaining constitutional balance and accountability.
Article 35, Parliament and Fundamental Rights. Only Parliament has the authority to make laws for implementing certain fundamental rights. Ensures that laws related to fundamental rights are uniform throughout the country. Applies mainly to Articles 16, 32, 33, and 34, among others. Allows Parliament to create laws that balance individual rights with national needs. Prevents states from making conflicting laws on fundamental rights. Article 35 completes the Fundamental Rights chapter by ensuring strong and uniform laws to protect citizens' freedoms across India.
Article 36. Meaning of state in Directive Principles India. Article 36 marks the beginning of Part 4 of the Constitution. It explains what state means for directive principles. The definition of state here is the same as Article 12. It includes central government, state governments, parliament, legislatures, and local authorities. Ensures that directive principles apply to all government bodies. Rights guide citizens. Directive principles guide the state India. Follow and subscribe. Article 37. Importance of Directive Principles India. Directive principles cannot be directly enforced in courts. They are essential for running the country. Government should follow them while making laws. They aim to build a welfare state. Though not enforceable, the state is expected to apply them. Rights protect people. Directive principles guide the nation India. Follow and subscribe.
Article 38, Social and Economic Justice India. Article 38 directs the state to promote the welfare of the people. Reduce inequalities in society. Ensure fair distribution of wealth and resources. Reduce inequalities in income and status.
Article
Clause
39, Economic Justice and Welfare State India. The state must ensure that men and women have adequate means of livelihood. Natural resources and wealth must be distributed for the common good. Economic power should not be concentrated in a few hands.
Article 40, Panchayati Raj and Local Self-Government India. Article 40 directs the state to organize village panchayats. Power should not be limited to the centre or states only. People at the grassroots level must participate in governance. Panchayats help in rural development and local decision-making. Article 40 became the base for the 73rd Constitutional Amendment, 1992. Strong villages build a strong nation India. Follow and subscribe.
Article 41. Right to work, education and public assistance India. The state should provide opportunities for employment. Education should be accessible to all citizens. Support in cases of unemployment, old age, sickness, and disability. These rights depend on the state's financial ability. Ensures dignity and security for vulnerable sections. A caring state protects its people India. Follow and subscribe. Article 42. Humane work conditions and maternity relief India. The state must ensure safe and healthy working conditions. Workers should not be exploited or overworked. Special protection and benefits for pregnant women. Workplaces must respect human dignity and well-being. Promotes labor welfare and social justice. Healthy workers build a strong nation India. Follow and subscribe.
Article 43. Living Wage and Workers' Welfare India. The state must ensure workers receive a living wage, not just minimum wages. Workers should enjoy a decent standard of living. Provision for leisure, rest, and cultural activities. Work conditions should be humane and fair. Aims to protect workers' dignity and economic security. Dignified work leads to a dignified life India. Follow and subscribe.
Article 44. Uniform Civil Code explained India. Article 44 asks the state to work towards a uniform civil code for all citizens. It means common civil laws for marriage, divorce, inheritance, and adoption. Ensures equality and removes discrimination based on religion. Promotes unity and harmony in a diverse country like India. It is not enforceable in courts, but guides future laws. One Nation, One Civil Law India. Follow and subscribe.
Article 45. Education for every child India. Article 45 directs the state to provide early childhood care and education. It focuses on children below 6 years of age. Early education helps in physical, mental, and emotional development. Supports nutrition, health, and learning together. Not enforceable by courts, but a guiding principle for government policies. Strong childhood, strong nation India. Follow and subscribe.
Article 46. Social Justice and Equality India. Article 46 directs the state to promote the interests of scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other weaker sections. Special care in providing education and opportunities. Helps reduce poverty and economic inequality. Safeguards against social injustice and exploitation. Ensures equal participation in national development. Justice for all, growth for all India. Follow and subscribe. Article 47. Health is the nation's strength India. Article 47 directs the state to improve nutrition and public health. Focuses on reducing malnutrition and hunger. Improving healthcare facilities and sanitation. State should reduce consumption of alcohol and intoxicating drugs. Aims to create a healthy and productive society.
Article 48, Protecting Farmers and Cattle India. Article 48 directs the state to organize agriculture and animal husbandry on modern lines. Encourages use of modern techniques to improve productivity. Focuses on protecting cows, calves, and other milch cattle. Supports farmers and strengthens the rural economy. Balances growth with animal welfare and sustainability. Strong farmers, strong India, India. Follow and subscribe.
Article 49, Protecting India's Heritage India. Article 49 directs the state to protect monuments and places of national importance. Preserves India's rich history, art, and architecture. Includes monuments declared of national value. It is the duty of the state to maintain and safeguard them. Heritage protection strengthens national identity and pride. Preserve the past, protect the future India. Follow and subscribe.
Article 50, Independent Judiciary India. Article 50 directs the state to separate the judiciary from the executive in public services. Judges should be independent and free from executive influence. Ensures impartial and unbiased delivery of justice. Strengthens democracy and rule of law in India. Not enforceable by courts, but essential for democratic governance. Justice must be free and fair India. Follow and subscribe.